called to, you can give, and if you don't, that is also okay. I know everyone's going through a lot in these times, and I'm really grateful personally for these times. Today we're at Earth Day, and it is really an Earth reset. And, you know, if you just look at the numerology of 4/22/2020, it's like a sequence of many fours, 3 4s. So it's all about restructuring. And another aspect of what I was saying about being in this more grounded sign of Taurus is we're all restructuring. Uranus is about restructuring, and Taurus is fixed Earth. So it's anchoring us. And today is a moment for us to really consider how we restructure our lives as we move forward in this new time. So yeah, and thank you for Sarah for hosting us.
You're so welcome.
All for joining. And so just some practical things. Sarah's going to make everyone a panelist as they join, and you can just unmute yourself when it's time for you to go on. And we're going to intend to have as little kind of break between the questions as possible today, if we can do that. And is there anything else to say, Sarah?
No, I think that's it. Just that if you don't have a microphone, please go ahead and type your question in the Q&A. It's a little easier to track that way. And the other thing is that,
and you can,
we have a question.
You can type your
first. You know what I mean? We have that question that Dante, that you wanted to present first. That's all.
Question first. After, and there will be a brief introductory chat that we're going to tap into, and you can also tap into my website, blissbeings.com, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/blissbeings. Everything will be there. I'm actually running a channeling course it was going to start sooner, but it's really kind of waiting until there's enough people enrolled and we can go deeper over a long period of time and use this time beautifully to open up cosmic connections. So yeah, other than that, I think pretty ready to begin.
Great. I'm looking for your, oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so after your introductory comments, I will go ahead and ask this question, and then we'll.
They're going to talk. They're going to talk for quite a while before questions begin. I know where it is.
Okay.
Hello, and we say a good day to each and every one of you at this moment of your time. As the Pleiadian Council, we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance and many other spirit guides and masters and energies that are here supporting our planet in your evolution and ascension at this time. We first of all thank each and every one of you for making this co-creation possible. As the more people that tune into this frequency, the more the seeds awaken. And you have all heard this term, star seeds. And now it is time for the seed of your potential to begin to gestate and sprout. And so now is marking the time where you are shifting from star seeds to star sprouts. And it is time to allow that new energy, which is really an ancient energy, but seems new on your planet, of your extraterrestrial DNA, open and activate. And in doing so, you are beginning to lay a foundation for the new Earth at this time. So, as we have said in other transmissions, while the experience you are having on your planet now is one that is challenging and uncertain, this is a time of great new beginnings. And This is a potent portal on this day, your Earth day, and also this astrological alignment the channel spoke about briefly. These alignments between Uranus and the Moon in Taurus and Saturn in Aquarius is creating a strong frequency that's allowing you to plant the seeds of your intentions for this new Earth and develop the structures that will bring you into alignment with that new Earth. So again, the idea is there are two realities simultaneously existing on this planet. There are those souls who are staying in the structure of the old Earth as it is falling apart. And there are those of you who are willing to go into this new Earth to lay the foundation for it and to look to the non-physical, the yet to manifest realm for inspiration and insight, rather than looking to the past of what has always occurred and repeating those patterns. Now, the challenge in this is the same structures that you have used are simply going to break apart and come back together into something new for your new Earth. And so it is important to have a degree of unconditional love for the old Earth while you build the new Earth. The more you judge and resist those energies of the old Earth, the more you keep them alive and the more you attract them into your personal reality. So understanding that everyone now on your planet is making the perfect decision for themselves will help you. Accepting them where they're at and understanding that what is going to bring you the furthest into your creation of the new Earth reality is your ability to unconditionally love yourself and others, even those that you deem as negative, distorted, or even evil. When you can hold unconditional love for them, your resistance falls away and you are able to create a stronger connection with yourself. And so the theme of this channeling, or this message we will begin with, is that of creating connection. What does it mean to be connected to your higher self? What does it mean to be connected to your human self, to other people, to the world around you? And now there is this universal law that all is one and the one is in all, meaning that each and every one of you is a microcosm of source and a microcosm of the entire multiverse and universe. And as energy frequencies change on one level, so they change on others. As you adjust your vibration and you adjust your belief systems, the connections you draw from on these higher levels also change. You may be running a story of a connection with a past life for very long, and this perhaps isn't the clearest and most preferred past life. Yet when you change the energetic structure of your present reality, you start to draw a connection to a different lifetime. And in the same way, every time you alter your own vibration now, your relationships and your connections to everything around you changes. So again, this idea of the old world is an understanding that the structures that have built your economy, your healthcare system, your political systems, your borders, your education system even, are all built upon unconscious survival fears that were projected through a developing mind and into your reality. Now, when you are in a fight or flight survival mode, you are not connected to the world around you in the same way as when you are relaxed and dropped into the higher presence of your spiritual nature. When you are living from survival mode, you actually disconnect emotionally from people around you, from the natural world around you, and from spirit. That is the word we prefer also source. We use them interchangeably. So this old structure unconsciously forces the masses to live through survival mode. And in that mode, they make decisions that perpetuate the loop of focusing only on this material-based nature. So the great challenge for many of you is that this conditioning of the old world still runs your system to some degree. We know almost all of you are doing very well, though almost none of you are constantly able to maintain that clear connection with your source self, with your spirit self. You vacillate and come into survival mode sometimes, and that is okay. Though creating connection must mean first that you begin to practice shifting yourself out of that survival mode more rapidly. You notice the cues and you use that opportunity to decide to create connection. So connection is the sort of greatest symbol of your awareness of source. And all of the addictions and other habitual tendencies that perpetuate suffering arise from feeling less connected, not feeling connected to those around you, or feeling like you are seen but somehow not fully loved. So the first level of creating connection must be connecting more deeply with yourself. And this means that you don't abandon your emotions in search of finding happiness or connection from something outside of you. It first must mean that you care so much about yourself that every emotion is something that you give your full presence and awareness to. And as you do this, you are also allowing your mental functioning to help you to disidentify with that emotion at the same time. You are caring for yourself as the one experiencing the emotion, though you are choosing to not believe the thoughts that arise out of that emotion. And as you sink deeper into the core belief behind the thought, asking yourself with every thought, what is the greater pattern? What is the greater belief about myself that I must hold in order to keep thinking this thought? And sink deep enough into it that you can identify that thought pattern and choose to look towards the opposite. If the thought itself is, I am unworthy of love, then you ask yourself, well, what is the opposite thought? I am worthy of love. I deserve love. Love is my birthright. And then you look for evidence of that, and you bring yourself to remember as many times as you can where you felt loved, connected, and held. And simply that memory itself shifts you out of the linear experience of time into this understanding that your soul has, that all of the moments you have experienced and could experience are one with you. And as you shift to that higher frequency, as you allow yourself to remember you are lovable, and you sit with that feeling until it passes, and you can then choose from your heart, again, what out of everything I could do will arise the greatest feeling of love in me? Out of every connection I could make, which one feels like the most loving anchor in my heart that creates a visceral opening of this energy that moves through my body and lifts me into a higher emotion? Again, connecting with yourself in this other realm is what we and many other beings like ourselves have been saying for so long. And it is simply choosing your highest passion with no insistence on an outcome. And of course, following it to the best of your ability, that allows for your energy to rise. Now, connecting deeper is also affirming your connection with nature, with the world around you. And of course, you are seeing with all of these electromagnetic fields and the changes in your environment that you affect your environment and your environment in turn affects you. So it is very key to remember this oneness with nature and affirm it as much as you can, taking walks. And when you connect with trees, feel the flow of that energy that moves back and forth between you. Make sure that you are taking that time to breathe in the air, to look at the water with wonder, and use this time with nature to cultivate the sense of wonder. Now, when you are in a state of wonder, you are far in the opposite direction of fear. Wonder is an energy that will raise your vibration passively. And of course, we are saying actions is what really makes the biggest change. Though this passive state that you can intend, when you are not sure what your highest excitement really is a state of wonder and awe. Looking at all of the scenery around you and taking it in. And know that when your perception is filtered through beauty, the energy that filters through you enlivens your body and accelerates your connection to source in the most profound ways. And so finally, what is important beyond connecting with yourself, connecting with nature, is connecting with others. And this is equally important. We are speaking in terms of a sequence, though we are not saying that one step in this process is less or more important than the other. So connecting with others and understanding that in every other, you are seeing the mirror reflection of source and spirit. And many of you connect with others simply seeking their approval, their validation, their affirmation that you are loved and acceptable. But as you do this, you create a personality mask that you continue to channel again and again. Some of you do this so much that you are not actually living as your true self. You are living with the mask persona that brings you this love and approval that is conditional. And for some of you to make authentic connections with others, you have to allow many of the connections that you have once valued to fall away, if you have built those connections from your mask self. To connect with others more completely means that you allow for all of yourself to be explored. So, as we have spoken about releasing belief systems, the most accelerated way to allow your own belief systems and structures to transmute is through reflection with another who can aid in your process, allow you to go deeper, provide additional insight, and sometimes play out roles for you that are part of the stories you tell yourselves. And you cannot allow for this deepest level of connection to emerge if you keep hiding yourself. So you must create and strengthen relationships where you are able to bring all of yourself to the surface and able to receive unconditional love in that state. For when you expose those deepest belief systems and the pain behind them and allow unconditional love in, is when you are in the deepest stage of healing. And this affirms to you that regardless of what you are feeling or what you are thinking, you are source and you are lovable and you are connected to everyone. Now, a final stage of this, we could say, is connecting to spirit guides and beings like ourselves, councils of light, and of course the elemental creatures and spirits of your earth plane. They're all always there with you. And you simply must first have that heightened vibration And then you must have a belief in place that says you yourself are capable of making these connections. Believing that these beings are real is not enough. You must believe that you yourself are capable and deserving of that contact. And the more you do those first 3 steps, connecting authentically with yourself, with nature, and with others, the more you will be in that higher vibrational state and clear connection to open to these other beings. It is as simple as inviting them in and paying attention to what vibrations you are feeling. What messages do you get? How does your body translate after you have made that invitation? And of course, creating a sacred space with permission slip items, you could say, sacred items such as crystals, candles, incense, offerings to the earth, or any other sort of procedure that works for you, oracle cards, so on and so forth. They are all helpful tools if they align with your belief system. You do not need them, because if you developed a belief system that spirit was always there and would simply show up the moment you requested it, that would be your experience. Though, again, creating these authentic connections is the best way to move forward in these times, allowing all of you to affirm to yourselves that you are channels in the same way that we are speaking through a channel, that everyone is capable of this. And when you come to see a timeline of ascension, of open contact, there will be so many in the planet leading to that point that have already opened their connections with extraterrestrials and angels and allowed that to be a natural part of their reality. Because it is not supernatural, it is both super and it is natural. And we hope we have made that message quite clear. So one final thing is, and we may speak about this in a further channeling, to release your fear about your technology. Understanding that, of course, these technologies do operate with frequencies that affect your electromagnetic field to some degree. So it is important to have moderation. But understand that technology is living and sentient and conscious to the same degree that everything in this life is vibrating and pulsating with the same energy. So you can use this understanding to channel love into your technology, to allow the frequencies that come from your technology to as well be an expression and experience of love. And know that as you evolve through further chapters, you will receive technologies from extraterrestrial beings that do not have the same disruptive force on your body. And this is simply the stage you must evolve through. The pressure that you are all putting on yourselves is catalytic for a great awakening. And again, the more that you can affirm your connection to yourself, to spirit, to nature, to others, and to many guides beyond, the more of an aligned and clear place you will be in for these times of great transition. We thank you for allowing this introductory message to come through, and we hope it has been supportive for you. And now we will continue this transmission with your questions, with your interests, with your sharings, and we will do our best to reflect to you the truest understanding that we can experience and express.
Great. Thank you, Pleiadian Council. Dante had a question which I find intriguing and inviting. His question was, if the Pleiadian Council were here in human bodies, like right now, from the perspective of us right here, what would be the most important questions that you would ask?
Thank you for that question. And yes, we can clarify, this was a question that somebody submitted to the channel, and the channel thought was an appropriate way to begin this session. So what questions would we encourage you to ask? Well, really, we encourage you to ask the questions that are most pressing to your heart. Out of every experience you have in your life, or every experience you could potentially have but are not yet having, which of those ideas, as it sort of settles in your mind for a moment, creates the greatest response in your heart? Could it even be a heart palpitation, or could be a warmth, or it could even be a tension. If there is fear around that energy, that is all right, because as you open your heart to move in the direction of what you truly desire most, the fear itself will pass. We encourage you, again, to ask the questions that mean the most to you. Because again, if you love doing it, the world needs it. If you have love for some theme, some aspect of your life, then that is one of the most important things in your life. So we hope that is not too vague and you understand. The questions that are most significant are the ones that vibrate with that highest quality of love within you. And of course, we enjoy very much questions that serve the benefit of everyone the most, though you can choose whatever question, be it very personal or very big scale metaphysical. It is entirely up to you.
Thanks so much. If anyone has a question, they can go ahead and unmute and ask. So we'll
Or
do
you may
that.
also write it into the box and it can be read out loud.
Yes.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello.
I thought it would be a good idea to foster a cat so I could have some feline companionship in this, you know, shelter in place time. And I thought getting an adult cat would be good because, you know, I didn't want to be overwhelmed by it. So I did get a cat to foster, you know, temporarily. And this cat is very sweet and also very, very active, and it feels overwhelming. My feeling is that we can adjust to each other to an extent, and it may be too soon to tell how this will play out, but my sense is that we can adjust to each other to an extent, and yet his active personality may continue to be a bit much for me. The idea was so that I could have some feline companionship but not have to put so much of my energy into fostering a cat. So I have a feeling this cat might not be the right cat for me for longer than maybe a week or two. You know, I might have him for a month, for 2 months. I'm not sure. It's until he gets adopted. But I feel a little bit uncomfortable taking him back. Especially since I'm not sure yet, but I have a feeling this just isn't going to work out. And I don't know, maybe there's benefit to each other for a short time. I wonder if you can speak to this about what I'm needing and what the cat is needing and what will be the highest good for all.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's reconnect with the energy of your feline friend. Well, on one hand, they are certainly needing more attention than you are capable of providing, and there's a recognition of that. Though there is also a soul agreement between you that the cat is coming in a way to shake things up a bit for you so that you can be more prepared for the unpredictable nature of this reality. And so the more you attempt to control the cat, the more the cat does not agree, the more the cat can cause triggers. And what you are feeling in these moments is a key into the deeper patterns you are healing. So you can thank the cat for the momentary assistance in getting in touch with any such programs. And it is perfectly all right to return the cat at the time it feels appropriate. Of course, you may wish to reach out to others who would take the cat themselves, though if it is really not working at all, the cat at a higher level understands and forgives for this momentary mishap.
Oh, okay. How long would be good for me to have this cat? Like a week, or I mean, I don't know if it's better to release
You
him.
decide.
Okay.
Ask yourself honestly, how much longer can I put up with this?
Yes.
And what is the answer? What is the very first thing that comes to you?
Probably no more than a week.
All right, then take care of it within this next week.
Okay, and so this is there's a purpose, and yet this cat is not meant to be with me long term.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I do have another question that I can ask another time, so other people can have a chance to ask. It's a short question.
All right.
I just wanted to check in and see if there might be an opportunity to ask a second question during
Yes,
this call.
there will be.
And when what?
There will be, yes.
Okay, so it's best to move on at this time.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Pleiadian Council.
Hello. Can I
Hello.
ask a question?
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you. So I'm receiving since long a time really, really, really strong messages about letting food go more and more in order
Okay.
to create more light in my system.
All
And
right.
even like clear instructions and like specific meditations and whatever. So what I established is once a week I'm doing like a liquid fasting.
Yes.
Basically the day in the week where I feel the best physically and on all levels. However, there is something that I really want to ask about. So if I'm not fasting, I have, and it's really contrary, but I have almost like a mechanism inside of me that is asking for food even if I'm not 100% hungry. So I would eat like 2 times a day, maybe even 3 times a day, but I'm not hungry. But there's still like this strong mechanism that makes me eat something. And so I guess I wish some clear guidance on that because it's really contrary to the messages. And so I'm wondering if is it like a mechanism or where is it coming from? And yeah, just some higher guidance in that. Thank you.
Yes. Well, what emotion are you feeling when you are compelled to eat without really being hungry? Is there a feeling that comes with it?
Let me tune in. Yeah, sometimes exhausted.
All right. So really, this is a common thing that the energy that you need comes from rest. Rest is a return to spirit. In some
Oh,
languages, dreaming and sleeping are the same word. So you can find that the more you allow yourself to simply rest and relax, those moments you are compelled to take energy you don't need, the more that you will find the energy naturally arising within you. Now, there are other occasions. This is the most common as we interpret your energy now. There are some occasions where there is a different frequency compelling you to eat, in which case you are not tired necessarily, but there is a need for energy. And this energy is to be found through breath. So practicing breath work that involves deep, complete breaths and retention, holding the breath in for past 10 seconds, even longer if it feels appropriate to you as you develop this. There are many techniques of this nature, and it is simply important to explore and find the ones that resonate with you. This will help you to take in energy from spirit in another way that opens and expands your own energy field. And at first, this actually may make you more hungry in the moments that you are hungry as your energy accelerates, though it will activate a genuine hunger as the speed of your metabolism will increase as your lung capacity increases initially, and then it will balance out. So making sure that you really rest properly first, though, is very key. And know that when you fully allow yourself to relax and you do return to spirit, you always bring with you new energies that helps you recalibrate in your system.
Great.
Wow, thank you so much. This is so very helpful.
You're very welcome.
So everyone, just a little general announcement. If you are typing, make sure you mute yourself because we do hear the keyboard. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're hearing. So just mute yourself if you know you're going to type. Okay, thanks. I can ask a question that kind of dovetails on that last one.
All right.
Yeah, my desire is really to eat a lot less meat and eventually not be dependent on meat. And I'm wondering, yeah, and I, like Alyssa, I know I eat emotionally. You know, I think from lifetimes where I starved to death. I can feel those, you know, or diabetes lifetimes where I had hypoglycemia, but it feels like a lot of my eating is emotional. And so I guess there's two parts to the question. How can I help to feed myself in a way that is not about taking in food when I'm feeling afraid or empty or sad? And the other one is, do you see a timeline of me lessening my intake of meat and maybe eventually not needing to eat meat?
Yes. So the general strategy is similar in the sense that you allow yourself to feel that emotion for its duration and simply sit with it, and do not attempt to fill the void with anything, including stimulus of information and conversation. Just allow yourself to feel it and breathe into it. And as we have suggested before, those breathing techniques help. But when the emotion is so big like this, the most important thing is to breathe into that emotional space. So feel where in your body there is sensation, and perhaps there is also a color to that sensation that you perceive. Perhaps there's some energetic structure that you can perceive, and breathe into that place. Imagine white light pouring in to your crown chakra and coming in through your nose as well, and going down into the place where there is emotion. And on the exhale, as the light pours out through your nose and mouth, there is some coloration or configuration of energy that was lodged in your body that disperses and moves out with your breath. Doing this process until you can feel very calm, perhaps playing music in the background that allows you to soothe and clear the process out. And of course, when you are feeling more balanced, to also start to pick away at that belief, investigating the shadows of your subconscious where the ideas and beliefs and concepts that you hold to be true are generating these emotions in the first place. And as you do that, the emotions will pass away. Though the more you are capable of being still in the face of those emotions and having that great love for yourself despite it, the more this will move and clear. And if you can get to a place where you do not eat unless you are feeling calm or ravenously hungry, you will do well. So of course, sometimes if you are far too hungry, it will be a natural response that you feel very emotional, and those are not the times to follow this technique. If you are, as you say, hangry, then that is something different and you need to eat. However, if you know that you are full on some level, but you want to stuff the emotion down, that is when to practice this. And in terms of when you can consume less meat, well, again, as you stop eating for the feeling of a heaviness and eat for the feeling of nourishment, you will stop preferring meat. And many people in your world now who are waking up and still clinging to the meat choose it because they believe it is grounding, and they have associated grounding with a feeling of heaviness. So let's switch this around a bit, because grounding is not being glued to the earth. The grounding is not being floored. That is being obliterated more so than being grounded. To be grounded is to allow the natural energy channels within you to experience nourishment through the earth. It is not a sinking down, it is an allowance of a rising up. Grounding is making a structure within yourself that allows for the earth energy to flow upwards through you. It is not a pushing down. So you must stop pushing yourself down if you want to be grounded. Meat lowers your vibration so that you feel heavy, and you've come to think that that is grounding, but it is actually the opposite. It is lowering your vibration and it is ungrounding. And so getting this through your head is part of the process in allowing yourself to shift out of the belief system that you need meat. And then, of course, you can, if you still find an unsatiable desire for that heavy feeling, find other things that give you a lesser degree of the heavy feeling and practice loving yourself within your emotional state then. And through that experience, it will pass away. And again, this is up to you. We cannot give you a timeline because your energy is shifting rapidly. So you are choosing when this is over. And the tools that we have suggested will be sufficient in that process.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. I think Dante's microphone is bumping into his necklace. I think that's the clicking we hear. So,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
So if you could just maybe, I don't know, put the necklace in the back, the mic will be okay. Or over your hair, yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect.
The
And
channel, put the microphone in the beard. It is
beautiful.
all right.
And thank you so much for that answer. Okay, I've got a question in the chat here from Peter.
Yes.
Dear Pleiadian Council, my wife would accept Bill Gates' vaccination if it is mandatory because she thinks she has no choice due to the target options if one would reject. It probably will sicken her or even worse, but she has no fear of that at all, only fear of losing house and income when refusing. What is your comment on that? We often send light to attract another near future. Thank you and namaste. Appreciations.
Yes, our thanks to you. Well, what we would say is there are legal ways to refuse this vaccine, and not all of this information has been revealed yet, and you're not even at that timeline quite yet. So do not focus so much on that timeline, and instead focus on what you can do today to maintain your health and your well-being and strengthen your immune system naturally. Now, what we can say about this and other vaccines is that they will affect those with a weakened immune system, much like the virus itself, in a more negative way. So if it really came down to the point that you forced yourself to take such a vaccine, you must make sure your immune system is strong and working properly by nourishing your body, by exercising, by most importantly loving yourself in all of the ways as we and others have described. And do not, again, focus on that timeline of needing to take this vaccine. Imagine a simple, free, and open, clear future. And, well, if all of this were true, that you would be denied of these rights by taking this vaccine, then you must really, if that were the case, choose what you value the most. And do you value your sovereignty over your body, or do you value these other expressions of abundance that you can experience? And really that choice is up to you, and you will experience the outcome. But this is, again, hypothetical, because as we see the shifting timelines, there will be no need to take this vaccine on a mandatory way, and there are ways that you can avoid it. So do rest assured that it will be all right.
Great. Okay, let's see if I have any other questions in the chat. Ocean is asking, I would like to ask a question via typing. My spouse and I are considering taking separate paths. I find it difficult to focus while they look into specific and legal and financial solutions. There has not been time to reflect on these options. And also, it is COVID. Any guidance on how to assert boundaries and the need for time, space, sanctuary in order to choose wisely? Excuse me.
Yes, this decision must be made from a balanced place. And as you take time for yourselves and rest into your own energy, it is important to ask yourself, what do I value the most? And am I capable of fully meeting my needs within this relationship? Now, if there is still a great love, and there is still a sense that you can potentially grow together, it is wise to stay connected. And if you find that your different beliefs and your different values and your different passions are bringing you to move in different directions, then it is wise to allow that. And to consciously uncouple means that you in a way recognize that everything is here and now, that while you move forward in time, your past is still a living part of your soul energy. And so in this sense, you never part ways entirely, because those memories and those connections and those ways you have grown together are now a part of you, and your energy lives on within each other. And understanding that, and understanding that the most important thing you can do is to cultivate a sense of gratitude for all that has been, and gratitude for what you are still sharing. You can then work through any conflicts with compassion and understand that you have been perfectly attracted to each other to reflect each other's personal belief systems, so that you can restructure those. And allow this to be now that moment where you do restructure your belief systems, and you see what within you is fear-based and what is love-based, and you allow those old attachments to the fear-based belief systems to fall away. And as you do that, you can then get a clear moment of choice. Do we stay together or do we go? And either way, you can affirm that you are always connected.
Great. Okay, so let's see if we have MK to all panelists. Hello, Pleiadians. Could my partner and I have been physically separated? Oh, it says, my partner and I have been physically separated for about 10 months now, as we're going through various visa processes, so he can join me here in the US. Now with this pandemic, it seems it might take even longer. I was wondering, do you see us rejoining physically anytime soon? And is there anything I can do to speed this up? Or should I just go with the flow as the whole world is on lockdown? Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, as we see the current probabilities, borders are likely to open again around July or August. There is a slight chance it takes longer and a very slight chance it happens sooner. So that gives you some time, and we understand that it has already been some time. Now, what you can do is connect with each other on psychic levels, which we sense you do already, though affirm the value of this for yourself. When you meet in dreams, allow yourself to take that in. And know that, in a way, the clearest relationships are founded upon those who have a deep and solid relationship with themselves. And there is much healing you can do in this time that can allow you to be happier within the relationship. For example, healing any blockages in your body. For example, working on your own belief systems. For example, focusing your energy on creative projects. All strengthens you energetically and allows you to deepen into self-love so that the love that you exchange is deeper. Now, often this is an experience that people have when they have something they love and they have distance from it. They're not able to access it for some time. The depth of that longing becomes more intense. And in the depth of that longing, when you finally receive the beloved again, you go so much more deep into love. And you are so much more able to appreciate the importance of that connection for you. And this is a bit of what is happening. So trust that on a higher level, this is serving the growth of your relationship, and allow the love that you can express to go deep and to be enough for you for now. And like all at this time, the process of the universe brings you to go deeper within yourself, which only serves for you to discover greater love and light.
Thank you so much. Oh, wishing you both lots of love during this time. Okay, so I've got a question from Kayla. Greetings. I have known that I am here for a bigger purpose that can be perceived since a child. I'm not sure if I have been procrastinating or waiting patiently until it is time to blossom. I notice many shifts happening, though. Do you have any insight as to how I can feel empowered to move forward with the visions and passions I have, and if it's a matter of allowing myself to heal and grow?
Yes. So it is a matter of allowing yourself to heal and grow as you perceive. And it is also a matter of simply choosing to put your focus in alignment with your passion. So you may notice some self-limiting beliefs that keep you in a loop of procrastinating or distracting yourself with something else. And it is important to use those moments and recognize those moments as powerful choice points, when you can instead choose to bring yourself in the direction of really doing those things that fill you with passion and joy. The transformation will occur. And there will also be an uncovery of belief systems that you have about yourself. So you must get comfortable with those beliefs and the process of excavating them and transforming them. So The next time that you find yourself at one of those moments where you are either distracting yourself or you are afraid to do something that works better for you, something that is representative of your true passion, ask yourself what you are thinking and write that thought down and go very deep into the core of that belief. And then again, as we have said, look for evidence that supports it and look for evidence against it. And then choose the opposite thought. What brings you to know that you are empowered? Look for evidence of your personal empowerment. Look at all of those things that you have done and affirm to yourself that you are capable. So it is simply a matter of clearing out those belief systems enough that you can maintain a state of flow. And as you maintain that state of flow and choose again everything that you are passionate about, many of these projects will manifest naturally and your healing will flow naturally. And remember, as you do this, that it's never about the outcome, it's about the journey. And as you use the journey to get very clear and aligned with your beliefs, then the outcomes that you prefer most will arise. But they cannot reach you if you are attached to them and you will sort of judge any experience that's less than your expectations as something wrong or something that failed. We hope that is helpful for you and for everyone.
Thank you. Shane is asking, hello, can you give us some idea of how things will unfold in the 3D realm with the virus, government, etc., so we can prepare our emotional systems? Thank you.
Well, so we have shared in other transmissions about this virus. This is, in a way, a testing ground. This is, in a way, a process through which your governments and other organizations related to them are assessing how people respond to high degrees of fear-based stimulus. And this testing ground will be over relatively shortly. Again, we are seeing from the current frequencies that there will be a shift around your July. And this may occur again. There may be further testing grounds. And again, the important thing to realize is this is the old world playing itself out. This is something that can affect you to the degree you allow it to affect you. And the measures that are being enforced, such as the self-isolation, spending time only at home, is really something that can be a catalytic force of healing for you. Yet your perception of the enforcement of it and the negativity around it prevents you from experiencing the deep benefit that is there for you within this. And again, we are all saying to you that you must find the love within yourself first if it is going to really matter when you connect with it beyond yourself. You must sink deep into love for yourself. And all of this time is bringing to the surface the belief systems that block and limit your self-love for you to heal, and giving you so much time to take care of yourself, to enjoy learning, to enjoy working on yourself in many different ways. And those of you who will thrive in the new earth quickest are those of you who use this time wisely to nurture and love yourself and make authentic connections, as we have said. Now, the government, so to speak, are simply playing with you. They will not take measures much further than spreading this fear. And you can witness how this fear is gripping tightly on many, though you can also witness those who are thriving in the love and the light now, and realize that you can be that being. When you anchor yourself in the love, it will ripple out. So again, do not focus on what the old world is doing to play with you and test you, for those systems and structures will lose their power. And there will come a time of great disclosure where the truth behind all of these things taking place now will be revealed. And once the truth reaches so many people, the shock and the feeling of betrayal will trigger a shift in the collective to choose to create a new earth. But it will take some time, and these are testing years ahead of you. But it can be a time filled with great and incredible love, though you have to again learn to shift your focus from the old world and from the fear-based energies at work that seem to be affecting more people in negative ways, and see the great benefit of the altruism, the love, the service that is available, and how your earth is healing. If you focus on the positive aspects of this, there can be a great growth curve for you. So we hope we have said that in enough ways.
Hey Dante,
Hello.
I have a headache every day, and I was wondering if you could tell me what I could do about it. Sometimes spices and prebiotics might activate the headache, but even without that, I still have a headache every day.
Are you drinking enough water?
Yes, that's all I drink is water.
All right.
I've been
And
meditating. I've been practicing the Wim Hof cold therapy. So other than what I've already been doing, I was wondering if you might have some suggestions.
well, energetically, behind everything you do, and we will discuss other tools and medicines you could take as well, though the core of this is thinking too much, is being a bit too in your head. And so the greatest method will be things that bring you deeper into your body. And this is not a means to exert your body or push your body. It is to relax your body. So you may continue, of course, the Wim Hof, though. Do you also take long warm baths? Do you also perhaps take a moment to bathe in the sun, to really let yourself relax more? Now, you can also focus on doing energy work on your heart chakra and your sacral chakra, and imagine that this energy in your head, as you breathe in, expands, and as you breathe out, you allow the energy to sink deeper into your body. You imagine a current of energy that you move with your breath that catches this energy in your head like a wave would and allows it to ripple down your body. So those things that bring you out of the thinking mind or a mental resistance to what is happening and into wonder and into joy and pleasure will help you. And sometimes you will need to simply put less attention on the pain in your head and more attention on the world around you, admiring or touching a tree. And you may notice the more attention you give this pain, the worse it becomes. So this may help. And now for some natural remedies, we would suggest taking chamomile tea or even a tincture of this. We would suggest as well to take anti-inflammatory medicines, those things that can support you in reducing inflammation and stress. Even a small degree of nutmeg with your breakfast, grated, not powdered, grated from the whole seed, will help with the headache as well. Make sure that you are not taking too much caffeine. And if you are at a place where you take a lot, then slowly lower over a period of time. And yes, is there anything else you would like to say to us about this?
No, thank you.
Our thanks to you as well.
Thank you. Denise, did you want to come back and ask another question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks for thinking of me. I'm participating in this online through Zoom temple school with a shamanic priestess, and I'm enjoying this. She has helpers around her that manage, you know, the practical aspect of outreach and things like that. And I was invited to do a ritual, I guess, participate in a, you know, I guess it would be through a Zoom meeting ritual to kind of remove remove the black sphere around my head and open the third eye. And I'm learning how to trust my guidance. And when I feel a strong yes, or when I feel a strong no, or just a medium, you know, a light yes or a light no, and I'm just not feeling inspired to participate in this, perhaps because the premise is to remove something negative rather than to, you know, uplift something, you know. So I guess perhaps I'm a little turned off by the premise. And the one of the helpers is a little bit pushy about encouraging me to participate in this, which makes me feel a little bit suspicious. So I am just trying to see here if this is something that really is beneficial, because I want to, you know, consider what is being encouraged, but I'm also noticing that I'm just not necessarily
Well, let's
feeling.
ask you this.
Yeah.
If you had a giant splinter in your heel, would you want to remove it or would you want to uplift it?
Okay, I'd want to remove it.
And so why would you want to not remove a blockage in your energy structure? What makes it different?
I don't know. And I'm just,
So
I'm wondering
what we-
if my resistance is just that it's not, I'm not feeling inspired, or if it's not really going to benefit me, or if I just, you know, what's really going on here?
You are resisting what would happen if you allowed your negative belief systems to disappear. You are resisting that level of openness because part of the negative belief system that has kept you safe is saying that if I get rid of this blockage, what is going to really happen is going to be worse.
Oh, so this is a good thing if it's not too late to say, yes, I'd like to participate?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, it is necessary to sometimes remove negative belief systems from your experience, and the energy that the negative belief system was built upon simply transmutes into a higher frequency openness within you. And it is helpful at many times when you are doing psychic surgery and work to remove blockages, to remove stagnant fields, and bring in light. And so, of course, the people you are working with are also familiar with this process of allowing new light and energy to come in, though you do have to often cut things out first. And it can be sometimes quite unsettling when you remove blockages, say, around the third eye center, because then higher sensory perception starts to activate. And oftentimes people will have a fear about that because they think that they cannot control what they see. So you must affirm to yourself as you go through this that as this higher sensitivity emerges, you do have control. You can turn it off and on as you would like to allow in new input when you desire it, and cut off excessive stimulus psychically when you wish to. So we would simply say, carry forward and know that this feeling of resistance is always indicative of a belief system that is in the way. When you are really in danger, a genuine danger, you will feel this as something moving in your solar plexus that says stop immediately. And there will be little or no thought about it. You will understand this because it will be an immediate response in your body rather than your body's response to your focus upon a thought.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, Pleiadian Council.
You're very welcome, yes. Our thanks and love to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So MK has a question. Pleiadian Council. Hello, do you want to ask the question? I'm gonna mute you. Hold on.
Sarah, you have muted yourself.
Hello?
Okay. All right. I just trying to mute this person. That's MK. Do you want to ask a question, or do you want me to ask the question?
Yeah, I can ask it, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so Pleiadian Council, could you give us your perspective on the Jasara Act and the Saint Germain funds and the new 5D abundance system and basic universal income? Kind of like all of these ideas about equal spread of the wealth across the world. How will this play out, and if this is like a time frame for this maybe, and yeah, whatever you have to share with us about this.
Oh, very exciting, yes. So this is something that will be implemented in the new earth. So at times now where you are building the foundation for the new earth and things are not fully in their place yet, these forms of universal income and abundance will be a bit experimental. And many places around your world will already put this in place at a governmental level. And in other places around the world where the governmental structures are not quite ready for that, it will be played out through soul groups who are really willing to experiment with this idea of abundance. And eventually, having a universal income will mean that everybody will have access to that same foundational level of money that can be used to fulfill your needs. And beyond that, people will be able to exchange this abundance in the ways that serve them, and will still have their free will allowed. So it will not be like a communistic sort of system where people are forced into roles. People will be able to choose to do what they love, and they'll be able to expand their abundance from that base level that everyone is allowed. And again, as this is beginning through simple acts of human kindness in this creation of a new love-based reality, you may see many people taking to great altruism now, even unexpected altruism, as this is related to that position of Uranus, of course. So unexpected gifts of abundance, unexpected energetic investment in new structures will come forward. And as you see people struggling in your communities, you must trust that as you give, the universe will also provide for you. And there are many different beings supporting those who are choosing this, as you can tap into higher guidance. So you are coming to create this all new, and it is very exciting. We must say that in some worlds, extraterrestrial worlds, money does not even exist. So there are ways to go beyond it. And we do see this taking some 20 or 30 of your years to affect the entire planet. With the current probabilities, of course, because we always speak to probabilities.
Thank you.
Any further questions about this?
Let's see.
Or anything else?
Yeah, actually, I have a question. So I have been working with my guides, my ET counterparts, and I was wondering, I'm aware that I have a Pleiadian counterpart. Could you speak on my counterpart a little bit? That's exciting for me to know. Yeah.
Yes. Well, as you have met them sometimes, you know they come from a future version of the Pleiadian world, and as a very intelligent and telepathic being, they are with you whenever you invite them in. They do communicate through sound and frequency, and as you continue to invite them in, they may transfer within you many new tools. And first of all, you simply may know that as you exchange this energy, this higher vibration is received in your field, that you communicate simply through your presence. So again, your Pleiadian counterpart, we will say counterparts because they're not just one, you are simply introducing yourself to the first one now, are all at this sort of quasi-physical level, meaning that they can move from a physical expression into a non-physical expression at their will, and they can, in a way, move through or even bend the laws of space and time, because at these higher dimensional levels, they are not the same laws. And in this sense, you can rest assured that they are also connected to much greater unfoldings. And as you make connection with them, you can receive great insight about the larger unfolding. So we do suggest continuing to meet them in guided meditation and in dream time and other rituals that suit you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And just one more quick question. Do you see like a timeline for me to have physical contact? Like when would I be ready to receive such an experience in my reality? Approximately.
You may have, within the next decade, you are very likely to have glimpses, including light ships, and you will continue to have these dream contacts and moments of contact in meditation. Physical contact will be more probable after year 2027, when there is a great shift taking place in the collective. So enjoy these moments of contact for now. And the channel was also thinking about this, and we began sharing information. And essentially, the truth is that you really want to be very well prepared before physical contact becomes a thing. Because when we meet physically, the energy we emit is forcing you to come to a higher vibration, coming to an entirely different dimensional perspective. And the negative beliefs that keep you lodged in a lower dimensional perspective have to be unleashed in order for this to be possible. So when we would come, or if we would come now, we would trigger a great wave of release that would not be helpful. Much like a therapist does not want to push somebody into too much fear that they are unable to process it. You want to release those energies at your own pace. And this time without this contact is giving you all the time and the space to fully heal yourself and fully actualize what you can within your earth plane. So do not think there is anything wrong with you or wrong with your earth as it is now because physical contact seems to be continuing to get delayed. Simply enjoy the telepathic contact and enjoy the love that we share, and use the time you have to heal yourself, to create consciously, and to connect consciously. And when time is right, we will be there, and it will be lovely, and it will likely be around 2027 or 8 from the current probability timelines that we meet in that way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I can't wait for that. And in the meanwhile, I will keep doing what you say. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, great love and thanks to you as well.
Much love.
Beautiful. So when you say 2027 or 2028, does that mean that that's when there may be craft actually landing on the Earth?
Well, there already are many craft landing on the Earth, though this is the point at which many more of you will be able to have that physical contact.
Got it. Okay.
For
Great.
now, it is limited to very select few.
Okay. So I'm going to unmute DH. I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead and ask your question if you would like.
Hello, I'm Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello.
Hi. So there's something that I want to do, I guess, as an excitement or whatever for me, like, and I view it as a project, like kind of like a long-term sort of like project that's like more than just one moment of action. And I am wondering, like, in terms of if I'm like trying to do this, like think of it as a long-term project, should I be thinking of this as like a long-term thing, or should I be thinking of it as like a series of certain moments that are chosen that will eventually create the project, or should I think of it more as a broader sort of scope? And I guess I think I'm just overthinking the whole thing. But if you feel like what I'm getting at, if you do, let me know. What would you suggest
Well,
for this?
do you understand that linear time is an illusion?
Somewhat.
So you have access to memories of everything that has occurred up into your life now. And you also have the ability to project into the future different events. And we are saying that every single image that you have is actually a snapshot of one timeline, though you don't have control as to which one you align with, but you do get indications of those that serve you the most in this moment. So if time is an illusion and everything is here and now, what does that really mean for this idea of your project? Is it something that is yet to happen, or is it already happening right now?
Well, already happening right now then.
Yes. So simply allow yourself to flow. Understand that the energy that fuels this project is passion. And so it is, as you were saying, a series of moments that occur sporadically that all contribute to a bigger puzzle coming together. And you align with those moments by following your passion. And that does mean that even things that don't seem related to this project, but are filled with an energy of passion, will contribute to that project's unfolding.
Makes sense.
It's really the state that you are in that attracts to you your experiences. And so, for example, we note moments when you may simply go out and take a walk, and you had no agenda, but you felt inspired and excited to do that. But taking that walk allows you to meet somebody or see a certain sign or be at the right place at the right time that triggers a greater process unfolding. And this is how many of the things that you are seeking will simply come to you.
Great.
So we, again, want to say, don't focus on the when, and don't focus on the specific things in your physical reality so much. Focus more on that energy of passion. And of course, if ideas come to you, if you see experimental cues that suggest to you to take a certain path, follow that path without expectations as to what is supposed to happen. And even when you find you reach a dead end, always remember there is something that you gain from that path. There is a lesson that prepares you to journey out onto the next path and learn from that journey as well. So it is a greater unfolding. It is all happening right here and right now. And your physical mind need not be concerned with every detail, only directed towards authentically expressing what you are passionate about in each and every moment. And it will all come together, we assure you.
Right on. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Well, thanks to you as
Thanks
well.
for that a lot.
Thanks, Daniel.
Mhm.
I have a question from my housemate, Galen. He wondered if you could comment about the Elon Musk's satellites that just went up, the Starlink 5G satellites.
All right. Well, the 5G is a experimental technology that is not fully tested in a way. Now, these technologies do to a large extent disrupt the electromagnetic fields around you, though you can make yourselves more resistant to this. First of all, we suggest earthing, placing your feet firmly on the earth for at least 15 minutes or half an hour every day, taking barefoot walks, connecting with trees. This allows for many energies to be dispelled from your system. And of course, working with orgonite or working with other similar crystals like mica or shungite that deflect these fields will be quite supportive to you at this time. Now, your own belief systems are also helpful. And if you can affirm to yourself that you are resistant, that you are strong, that the passion you generate is strong enough to awaken your immune system and awaken your body's internal protection system, the 5G won't affect you that much. Those that will be most affected by the 5G are those who spend more time in fight or flight mode with their immune system lowered. They are at a greater danger. So there are certain agendas to experiment with this 5G, much like they are experimenting with what happens when they flood fear-based information into all of society. They are playing with how they can affect you with this. And so simply know that. And again, surrender is key in realizing what you have control of and what you don't. You do have control over the ways that you manage your body and you create energetic boundaries and you align yourself with health and well-being. You don't have control over these devices being used, but you can inspire others to take better care of themselves and affirm your dissent from these devices being used in the ways that you can. And as you surrender to the control that you do have and let go of the control you don't, things will align, things will be all right. Understanding again, this is a challenging time on your planet that is proving to each and every one of you your capability through the struggle that the collective is enduring.
Do they see a time where those satellites will be taken down?
Yeah, do you see 5G ultimately being defeated? I mean, will there be a time
Yes.
to settle? And do you see a timeline for that?
2 to 3 years from the current probabilities.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Katsu, I noticed that you had your hand raised. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Dante.
Hello, yes.
Hi. I had a couple questions. First one is, do you see Indigenous communities and Indigenous ways taking a leadership role in the new earth? Is the first question.
Yes, there's a great memory of that. There is, first of all, an empowerment of these people and a recognition of the wrongs done in the past that will come to light and is coming to light. So the work around that is very important. And their ways and their understanding of the aliveness and connection with nature will be remembered and honored and will become again a part of your new world.
Yay, that's what I was hoping. I'm glad to hear that. And the second question is a little more personal. I'm wondering if you have any comments about my choice to have Rochelle edit my book. Is that a good choice? And or any comments you might have on my book in general, the title of which is Plain Mantis. Do you have any comments on either of those things?
Why do you have some uncertainty about this particular individual editing your book? Are you
I actually
fearing
don't.
something, or are you noticing something about her that is less than what you prefer?
Oh, no. I don't really have much knowledge of her, but we have it set up that she's going to edit my book, and I'm going to move ahead with that, but I was just going to run it past you and see if you had any comments about that. I don't feel reservations, though, particularly, no.
Yes. We encourage you to proceed, and yes, if there is something that you are encouraged to edit out that feels so important to you, make sure you honor your heart first. And there is great creative success ahead of you, is what we see. So again, continue to follow your heart, follow your passion, and as you stay true to that, the project will proceed beautifully.
Aho. Thank you, dear. Much love to you.
Is that all?
That's actually all. Thank you.
All right. Our thanks and love with you as well.
Mhm.
Great. So it looks like Isa has a question. She says, thank you so much for taking time speaking to us. So how can I figure out better who is speaking to me, my brain or my higher self? I get confused from time to time. Also, people say to me when I feel something while connecting to them, feel it on my chest, pressing on my heart chakra, that it's me/mine, not theirs. And I'm confused. Is it right that I feel low energies like this? Okay, there's like 3 questions. So let's start. The first one is, how can I figure out who is speaking to me, my brain or my higher self?
Thank you. So when you are operating from your physical mind alone, the thoughts will seem as if they are coming from a deep place within your head. And when you are connecting to these higher frequency energies, you will notice there's an opening in your crown chakra. It is as if the thoughts are received rather than the thoughts are generated. There will also be a felt sense of otherness or higherness or beyondness to these voices that come. And they will always evoke a quality of great love. So there is a natural blending of your physical mind and your higher self, your higher mind, when you enter into states of channeling. In other words, this higher energy will always be translated through your own internal voice and personality structure into something that you can really integrate. So the question then becomes, when I am receiving this voice or this energy, do I feel the openness in my crown? And do I feel the love as the basis for this energy? So you can proceed into the next part of the question.
The next part of the question is that sometimes when Isa is talking with a friend or a person, she can feel like a pressure on her chest at times. And the people say, well, it's her energy, not theirs, and she gets confused. Is it right that I feel low energies like this?
It's perfectly fine to feel these energies. And this energy is your response to the other. And as you open your heart more to feel the other person as one with you, this energy will liberate more. Again, in the heart, there's a recognition of oneness. You are one with Source, and you are one with all others. So here again, the question of where does this energy come from? Does it come from me or the other? In a way becomes obsolete when the heart is fully open. And when the heart is fully open, there is no judgment of the other. And what you are really feeling is true, that there is a low frequency energy in both you or the other. But it feels like a blockage in the heart because you are unable to see the same energy, or the same energy vibrating at that similar frequency is present within you and present within the other. And this is why many people fail to understand projection, because almost always when you project something onto somebody else, they have to have at least a part of the energy you are projecting as part of them, or else you would not see it at all. But it becomes a projection because you cannot see the sameness. You see that only they are holding that certain type of energy, and you're not seeing the same energy within yourself. So understand that everything you see in the outer world, from good and altruism to evil, is something that you contain the potential of. And when you say it is only the other person, it is only the outer system, and I am not that, then you create a disconnection and you perpetuate the loop that is occurring for both you and for the other.
Great. And the other part of the question was about readiness to open the third eye. Am I ready for the opening of my third eye? Also to connect better with these questions above.
Yes, yes, you are. So continue to do those processes of meditation and cultivating that connection there, focusing your energy there and allowing your imagination to show you. And also part of this process of awakening your intuition is noticing that when it is on point and when it is not. So develop games with others where you can use this capability to read into other energies and see what is really going on. And perhaps do some different shamanic journeys and other tools that help the third eye to open. Of course, there are always those options of working with different plant medicines that catalyze this tool, this inner eye, to open more. But yes, you are ready. And the way that you choose to open this is unique to you. Listen to it and honor what comes naturally.
Thank you. Okay, so looks like Alyssa has a question. Alyssa, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question? Because I don't see it here in the chat.
Yes, can you understand me?
Yes, it can.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you at first. So I have another question. So my question is, well, as an explanation, right now I'm feeling really, really, really strong, the call to fully focus on service. And it's something that brings a lot of joy to my heart. However, I'm receiving so many different visions, and I know exactly like what's to do and all the different projects that will help the earth. And also in the same time, I'm focusing on my healing work and the place where I'm at and to grow a garden. And at sometimes it can feel a little bit much to do all these things and take time for myself. In the same time, I feel I'm receiving the visions for that project because that's what's needing to be created. And it also brings a lot of excitement to me. So I guess I'm seeking some guidance on how I can create all these things in 24 hours a day.
Yes. So first of all, you need to really relax into the timeless nature of all of this.
Into what?
Understanding the timeless nature of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that it all will play out when it is meant to play out, and that there is enough time for everything. And this will allow you to relax into the moment more so that you can naturally choose which of all of these experiences fills you with the greatest love. And you must make this decision from your heart. And when you are really choosing everything from love and you take off all of the pressure as to when and how your goals need to manifest, then you can dive deeper into the love you are feeling for the current part of the process. And the energy, the frequency, the experience of that will deepen and strengthen. And you'll be able to find more appreciation and love in it. And as you do that, the feeling of time itself will fade away.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
And
you're
I just have
welcome.
a little question. What does the
course.
Pleiadians say about, or like the council, the high council, about plant medicines? Like basically all sorts of plant medicines, but especially like master plants, like for example ayahuasca, or especially ayahuasca.
All right. Well, these plants are powerful permission slips that open you up to these higher dimensional perspectives and also awaken within you any stuck energy patterns that are blocking you from getting to that doorway. Now, the plant medicines can continue to serve you if and only if you are integrating the lessons. So everybody must be receptive to what the plant medicines are teaching them. And some people will receive a message, do not do this again, and they continue to choose it. Some people receive a message that they must learn or study something or work on healing a certain part of themselves, but instead they keep coming back to the medicine. And this creates a loop of dependence in which the medicine is more of a crutch that gives a temporary relief, and then they continue to live in that other way. So ultimately, you may come to a point where you don't need the medicine to get to that same level of consciousness anymore. The process of integration is one in which you initiate the messages that you have received, you act upon them, and you are also consciously choosing to tune your vibration back to that same level. Understanding that it is all here and now, you can raise your vibration to that cosmic state of love and connection to spirits or whatever guides manifested for you in that moment without the medicine. So doing diligently that work in between uses of the medicine and really listening to the feeling in your heart, feeling the call of the plant spirit before you take it is very key. And understanding that for most people, the journey with the plant medicines has an end. And that end is the point at which you can reach to those high states of consciousness without them. For some people, the journey shifts. And rather than having an end, they, instead of continuing to work on themselves with the plant spirits, choose to be a guide for others to go through that same journey and understand that for those who are not choosing to be a space holder of the medicine world, that is a journey that does have an end.
Wow. Okay, can I ask one little question, more personal?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So a few years ago, I was starting to study with ayahuasca with my teacher, and now I'm kind of like in the half, like in the middle of it, like after the fourth initiation, and now we can't continue to study because of the borders closing and everything else. And I feel it's okay, but a part of me is really missing it, and a part of me just really wants to know what this kind of like break that I can continue to study will bring to me, and what's the higher meaning of it regarding the initiations.
Well, it is really, again, as we were saying, a moment for you to learn how to access that same level of consciousness without taking the plant. So there are many ways that you can do that. Some common ones are to sing to the plant spirit and invite it in, or to listen to the songs that give you a connection to that plant spirit, or even just to imagine that experience, what it's like in a meditation, will support you in opening to that connection as well. Praying to or inviting in the spirit of ayahuasca and the spirits that you connected to during the journeys will support you and allow you to, again, learn how to be at that vibration without ingesting anything. And there is still more work for you to do with the physical plant, though that work will be even deeper when you can connect with the plant non-physically. Understanding again that the plant is already within you as you have taken it. There has been an alteration in your DNA that you can expand upon even without ingesting more.
Oh, thank you. And probably even make like the same healings with other people, like with the plant, but only without the plant.
Yes, precisely.
Also in group settings?
You can do it in group settings, or you can do it with yourself, or you can do it with just one or two other people. It is up to you.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, you are welcome. And know, of course, that other master plants that have a very powerful high vibration can be portals to this plant as well. So say, for example, you want to use cacao, but you invite the ayahuasca spirit into the cacao. You can use other plants in this way.
Wow, so exciting. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thanks and love to you as well.
So I have a question, just kind of piggybacking on that. I've never felt drawn to take ayahuasca. And I don't know if that's just fear or if it's not something I need, or I just wondered if you could comment on my relationship with ayahuasca.
Well, it has not been time for you, and there may be a shift that occurs that prepares you to choose that journey. Essentially because so far the spaces that have been presented to you have not been suitable for your kind of energy and the kind of experience you need. And when you meet the right person and you are energetically prepared enough, something in you may shift. They'll wait until you feel that genuine calling in your heart, as you know.
Yeah, I've felt called to like microdose San Pedro and microdose mushrooms. I mean, is that something that you would suggest?
Yes. Microdosing the mushrooms is a very good first start, and eventually getting accustomed to higher doses may prepare you for ayahuasca, as their energy is a bit similar.
Thank you. I'm just going to ask one more question while I'm here. Me and members of my core soul group are really desiring to find land, and we've talked about this a lot in sessions, and I just wondered if you see a timeline. And I'm here with Galen and Jonavi, the four of us, Frank and I and Galen and Jonavi, and I'm just wondering if we can help dream that land into being, or if it's kind of two questions. How can we nourish this pod of core soul group that we have right here? That's kind of one question. And the other is, how can we participate in our four energies together to help call this timeline where we find our land and connect with yeah. So
Continuing to play and share joy and creative expression together is helpful. Also, you may wish to have what you would consider some form of heart circle, where everyone takes the opportunity to speak authentically to their experience and their emotions and the stories they are telling themselves, to bring everything to the surface and allow for deeper connections to emerge. You may find that you deepen in your understanding of yourselves and each other through some sort of process of this nature. Now, in terms of finding the land, there are certain probabilities that exist that you may start to encounter something even within this year, though you have to do your research and make the call you are making energetically more physicalized by writing about it and posting it to certain people who call to you, as they may have different leads for you.
I know our friend she has a lead to some land. I don't know if that would be a good connection. I love Ashi so much.
Yes, looking at that probability, there's something to explore there.
Great. Let's see if anyone else has a question here. Does anyone in this room have a question?
No, no.
So I have one more question as long as we're here. I'm wondering, going back to the vaccines, I'm wondering if some vaccines are less harmful to the immune system than others, or less challenging on the immune system than others.
Yes, measles, chicken pox are relatively innocuous.
I mean, in the COVID-19 vaccines.
Oh, no. Well, there are some that are being designed from the antibodies that the body produces after having lived through the COVID-19, and those are less damaging than the ones that are designed from the disease itself.
Okay, and so is there a way to find out which one there is? I mean, we asked another intuitive, a friend of ours who channels the angels, and she said it would be okay for Frank to get vaccinated if he chose that. And I'm just wondering, like, will we be able to know like which ones come from the antibodies and which ones actually come from the virus itself?
The ones that have come from the antibodies are still in their development process.
Mm-hmm. Are those connected with Bill Gates or not?
No,
Okay.
they are not.
So, okay, so it'll be common knowledge, like telling us these vaccines come from the antibodies. Will that be something?
Yes.
Okay.
At this point, these are being explored in other countries, not in yours, but it will eventually reach you as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
That's
much.
helpful.
Yeah, that's
Thanks,
good
Anne.
to know.
Yes.
And let's see. Here's somebody asking a question. All right. So this is Isa. Do I still have a really strong belief pattern about earning money? Oh, wait. I still have a really strong belief pattern about earning money with my healing skills and stepping out of my comfort zone. I really want to do this as a main business, but have still the bad thoughts about being seen or that I can't do it alone and earning a lot of money with it, but I really want to be of service for humanity. My soul really wants to do it for people. I don't know. You can answer this for me too, Dante. I need please.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Isa.
So we can speak to several different belief patterns. The first of which being the belief about money itself. So you must understand that everything is energy and money is just energy. And of course, the systems in place on your world are ill-intended. They are intended to serve few at the cost of the majority. But that doesn't mean that money itself is not just energy that you need to meet your needs. So you must shift your idea about money to understand it is just energy and see money for that which it is going to bring you. New opportunities for healing, for travel, for connection, and for really living a life that nourishes you. And when you see money in that way, it becomes easier to work with. You can forgive those negative systems that drain people of their energy through money, and you can see how malleable the energy of money really is. For example, the inflation of money is a way that the value of money is constantly changing, and as your world evolves, the value of money itself will also change. Now, if money is just energy, we can talk about this other sort of belief system, that you are not yet enough to deserve that energy. So this belief is, in a way, a defense mechanism, as there may have been experiences of rejection that triggered your fear-based response. Rejection is something that awakens a deep primal fear, because long ago, rejection meant you would be ostracized from the tribe. And so to be lesser deserving of something and just scraping by means that there are less chances of being rejected. You have to reframe what this really means. When someone rejects you, they are in a way not doing something very personal at all. They are saying that in their framework of reality, your role is unacceptable to them. They are telling you about their belief systems, and in a large way, they are rejecting themselves. Now, this is in a way a protective mechanism itself, because somebody of the most love-based energy is not going to reject you at all. They are not going to project this fear onto you. And as people step higher and higher into these octaves of empowerment, they will find a greater response of love or fear from those in their lives. And this is a great litmus test. When you keep your energy small, you can have many people in your life without fully seeing where their energy is focused in love or fear. When your energy is very small and you focus only on the essence of things, you will never see where people are really at. But when your energy raises and expands, those fear-based energies will leave your life. And some will do it in negative ways and some will do it in lighter ways. But you have to allow that process entirely. You have to accept that and know that every time there is an experience of rejection, it is actually an opportunity to sink deeper into self-love and connection to something greater and bigger. So understanding that, you can finally understand this is a trial and error process. And at first, you may not always succeed, but you will always gain a lesson that will be an asset to your success. In fact, you cannot succeed without first accumulating enough lessons about your value and about money and about the role of a healer. So be prepared to fail and have an attitude towards failure that is a loving one. Have an unconditionally loving attitude towards failure. And when you embark, you can get to your goal quicker. Though understand that lessons are necessary, and without them, you cannot get there. So be open to everything the journey brings you, and love yourself in the process, and feel the essence of love at the core of every energy. And again, see money for what it can do for you rather than from where it has come from. And see it as love. Because again, this finally turns around to the higher expression of money. Again, in higher dimensions, everything spirits and non-physical beings do is possible through love. Love is the fuel. Love is what brings things into manifestation. Right now in your reality, money is what makes things happen, makes connections. And therefore, love and money is rather the closest vibration to love within your own dimension. It is the closest energy to that. And you can see all of the ways that humans distort the energy of money simply as ways that humans distort the energy of love. And therefore you can see yourself having a lot of money as yourself having a lot of love, and using that as an opportunity to teach others how to see money as love and how to use it in the most clear and unconditionally loving ways.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Let's see. Kayla has a question. Kayla, do you want to ask your question? Do you want to unmute yourself? Or would you rather have me ask it? Let's see. Oh, where is she? Well, I'll just ask it. It says, oh, hold on a moment. Where is that question? Okay. Where'd it go? Kayla, I'm looking for you. Oh, there it is. Hello again. I am pregnant and due in June. With the vision of traveling and not currently aware of having the income to purchase a motorhome, is it within the plan for me to be donated a motorhome? And am I to meet someone who is to travel with me? If so, do you know a timeline for this to occur?
Well, that is one probable future, though you must not depend on that. In other words, if you depend on some unknown source of abundance and live as if it is going to happen, you won't be setting yourself up energetically for success. So in order to experiment with that, you can really ask the universe, ask the world in many forms, is somebody willing to donate me a motorhome? What options do I have? And if you follow your highest excitement and live from your heart and do all the things that bring you great love and joy, that will set you up for the greatest chance of success. And of course, searching for this possibility of a gifted motorhome might ensure that success even further. Though, of course, nurturing your child ought to be a priority, and you must trust that as you follow your heart, the greatest outcome for being held and nurtured by the universe will present itself. So really follow that formula. Follow your highest excitement with no insistence on a particular outcome to the best of your ability. And this will all unfold in the highest way.
Okay, thank you. Manuela, would you like to unmute yourself and ask a question, hun?
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I would like to ask, why does it seem that in Portugal, the disease COVID-19 doesn't have the same effect that it had in other countries?
Well, truthfully, many of the cases in other countries were intentional. You understand what you're saying?
Yes.
That by and large, the spread of this disease has not been fully natural. And there have been other forces that have sought to expand the spread of it for their own purpose.
So you're saying that it doesn't mean so much that people die in Portugal? Is there something like that? There's no one that, or maybe less people.
There are, in a way, less agendas on behalf of the government and those forces that be. And therefore,
so
there is less of an artificial spread of the disease there.
Oh, yes. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, thanks to you as well.
Cool. Now we want to move to Portugal. Can we move to Portugal?
You may, if it is your highest excitement. It may involve much bureaucracy and so on and so forth, but it is possible.
Okay. That's kind of a silly question. Let's see what we've got. All right. Isa has a question. Does a twin flame really exist, or are there more of them? And if yes, will I meet mine soon?
All right. Well, we have said this many times in different transmissions, though we will say it again. And this idea of a soulmate is on one level universal, that every person you attract in your reality is the perfect mirror for the lessons that you need to learn and the discoveries you need to make about yourself in that moment. And you cannot possibly go wrong in that sense. Now, when you are attracting a deep soulmate, what you could say is that you are meeting with another soul that is a part of your oversoul. And again, an oversoul is the culmination of many souls into one higher energetic body. These souls incarnate across time and space, and in the same sense that other humans are a part of your oversoul, so are other past or future incarnations. So there are so many members of your oversoul alive today incarnate, and the number really ranges between 1,000 to 10,000 that are presently incarnated, a part of your oversoul, and you may meet them at different times. Now, this twin flame idea is again an idea that was birthed out of the human sense of separateness, of feeling incomplete in oneself. And therefore, this feeling of lack and feeling of separation is so universal that it has become a universal concept. When you are in that consciousness that you are not complete on your own, you attract to you a twin flame, another person, member of your oversoul, that is feeling incomplete on their own. And they will teach you the lessons of what two incomplete halves of a whole create when they attempt to unify through a sense of incompletion, through a sense of I am not enough without you. And twin flames lead you to feel complete within yourself, to have genuine and complete self-love, and to have great discernment as to where you end and I begin. So when you make that shift, you begin to attract a soulmate. And a soulmate is, in the same sense, simply a member of your oversoul. But the difference is the dynamic of the relationship. You will interact with them differently because you will feel contained within your energy and complete within your energy. And a soulmate only adds to the joy that is already complete and perfect within you. Whereas a twin flame tries to fill a space within you where you are lacking, and therefore creates a cycle of suffering. That is the simplest way we can put it.
Thank you. Great. Let's see if we have any more questions. Frank has a question. Go ahead, hon.
Do you see widespread acceptance and interest in permaculture in the coming years?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that is occurring.
That's awesome.
As this is one shift that is occurring right now through what is occurring on your planet with the economy and all of these limitations, that people are being drawn back to nature. And they are realizing that being self-sufficient with nature is very helpful. And of course, this is a time of Uranus and Taurus. So unexpected manifestations of your connection with the earth are occurring. So enjoy it, we would say.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, let's see, anybody else here? That's a great question. Yeah, so I have one last question. I just wonder what I can do. I know I have certain barriers of resistance to letting my beautiful husband's love into me. And I've been working with this for 23 years that we've been together. And when I started out, there was just massive repellence. And now there's only resistance and judgment here and there spattered around. But like Frank always thinks, well, you should go find someone else. You know, you're just not attracted to me or whatever. But my heart loves him dearly. And I feel like as the more I surrender into really being loving of myself, the more my relationship with him feels so natural. And so anyway, I just wondered if you could comment on this dynamic. Why is it there, and how is it best to work with it, come to love?
Well, you are doing much better. And again, it is a continuation of releasing fears that you may have had from when you have received love in the past and then were hurt by it. So clearing those patterns is helpful, clearing those memories, teaching yourself that something new is possible, and really opening the back of your heart chakra. So even a wonderful practice could be spooning together with the front of his heart against the back of yours.
All the time. We do that a lot.
And as you do that, feel the back of your heart. Do you feel his heartbeat entering you? Can you allow his heartbeat to enter through that channel and move through you? Can that heartbeat flow into you? Can you imagine a door or a portal that is a channel for that heartbeat to merge with yours? Can that energy move through you? And simply breathe into it and feel it. And every day allow for more of this to flow. And invite in your own guides and higher self in that process as well. And that would be very good. And another thing you can do is when you are alone, when you are working with yourself, ask yourself, what could be the worst thing that would happen if I fully let all the love in? And then you will get to come to see what the fears are that you need to prove wrong, so to speak. Find a different belief. Get to the core of what you think could happen if you really let all the love in, and change those beliefs at the foundation level.
Are those beliefs primarily from human lifetimes or on this planet, or from other planetary systems, or both?
It's a mix of both.
Okay, thank you so much. That's beautiful advice. Love that.
Yes, you are welcome.
Great.
And was there one last question submitted from
Yes, I
a
saw it.
text before this all
There
began?
is. There is. Who's that? Isa. Since I can think about, I have difficulties with the skin of my head, especially underneath my, is that ear? So much dryness. I did a lot, I did a lot about this. Also eating better, no meat. And my nose has rosacea. What can I do about these two things? And where does it come from?
It comes from having a disbalanced root chakra. So you must work on rooting yourself and creating a deep sense of connection with the earth, unplugging your survival fears, and learning how to integrate them and creating deeper connections. And for the moment, you can work with calendula and rose oil to help the symptoms, though you do need to get to the very root, literally, of this issue for there to be a change. And Sarah, was there another question the channel sent to you via a message?
Yep,
All right.
let me find that. Okay, here we go. So, I'm curious about how the bloodlines are affecting me and what I have with me that I need to work on. Release in an ancestry perspective, or what I have in my genes that can benefit me. Somewhere I've heard that each person has different levels of alien DNA, and I would be glad if the council could shed some light over this and what it means to me personally.
Thank you. So, let us say that your genes are this living library. First of all, yes, of that bloodline that has carried you here. So many of those same ancestral patterns are carried out. For example, if your ancestors survived a famine, that will affect how you relate to scarcity and food. Now, in the case of the particular questioner, there are certainly some challenges in the genes from times past where there has been war on those lands and conflict and scarcity that are still playing out and still creating a holding pattern. And they can be released simply through facing your present life situation and changing your beliefs and creating that high vibration frequency as we have shared. You can seek out those who do ancestral healing if it really calls to you, though that is a unique case-by-case basis if it is really truly necessary. What magical cues are there in your genes? Well, yes. Your genetic code also connects you to spirit ancestors. And so when you do ancestor work, when you invite in spirits from your lineage, you must make sure that you are calling upon spirit ancestors or guardian ancestors, only those who have reached a certain level of consciousness of integration and accountability to love-based principles within their lifetime. And for you, those beings you would consider to be somewhat of druid-like beings who communicate with the spirits of nature. So within your genetic code, there is this ability to make contact with nature spirits and work with their energy, to intuitively connect with plant-based medicines, and as well to read those rune stones. If you make contact with this technology again, memories and tools from these guardian ancestors may come forward. So be open to learning these rituals and allowing them to meet your own life in a natural way. And this is the same for everyone. Connect with your spirit ancestors and invite them in, make a ritual, light a candle, light some incense, and allow them to meet you in meditation. And notice that difference between your spirit ancestors and your ancestor lineage as a whole, because there are many ancestors in that lineage who do not want you to change, and they are not the ones to really work with. Though as you heal yourself, those ancestors in turn heal as well. And as for the extraterrestrial DNA, well, you certainly do have a bit. You do have quite a bit of Pleiadian connections. And yes, everybody has some of this extraterrestrial DNA. However, there are souls coming in now that have much more extraterrestrial DNA that is connected to the hybridization program. And when you, as humans, do have what you consider abduction experiences, your DNA becomes activated. The extraterrestrial components of your DNA become active, and much stronger resonances are possible. So all of you do have extraterrestrial DNA. It is really just a matter of whether it is switched on or off. You can switch it on by opening to contact, surrounding yourself with the energies that have come through channeling, through crop circles, through light languages, and anything related to us. It all starts to switch that DNA on. And of course, following that, following your passion, living your joy, will also naturally allow those genetic codes and markers to turn on.
Great, thank you so much. That's great. There's a question from Peter here. In this linear time illusion on our current Mother Earth Gaia, it is suggested to be relevant to get her along with us much more into or towards a new Mother Earth 5D reality idea with the right focus and intention and vibration and so on. How is this compatible when you are aware of the fact that this new Earth actually does exist somewhere already? And if one is part of ascension, he/she will get there anyway by just dying and leaving here. That's the question.
All right. We get the essence of this. And what we say is, beloveds, you are already on the new Earth. And again, you are sharing the same space with those who are living the old Earth. But if you connect deeply, and do this now, visualize this as we speak, that roots of light grow from your heart out through your feet, and they start to mix with that of other plants, a mycelium grid connected to the roots of all of the plants around the world. And imagine those electromagnetic impulses rising up into your body. And send those roots down in a detailed way. They go through so many layers of crystals, minerals, and metals of the decomposed life that creates a deep field of fossil fuels and so on and so forth within the earth, to deep magma, to deep plasma, all the way to the Earth's heart, the center core of the earth. Imagine your heart deeply connected now to the earth's heart. And if you feel that love and that resonance vibrating up through the layers, you are already in the new earth. This new earth is already alive within you. When you connect to this essence level heart of the earth, you know that the earth has made the shift. And the earth is simply allowing both of these realities to now coexist. You are building this new earth, every action you take based in love. From healing yourself to healing others, to building new structures, to sharing ideas, everything you do based in love is supporting this new earth in coming into manifestation. And you simply have to trust it. And look away from that old earth. Again, as we have said initially, have love and acceptance for it. Yet focus on the creation that you can bring. Focus on the love that you can share. And understand that even if your planet was destroyed, your earth has the ability to heal itself. The earth is a much greater force than you can imagine. And it contains so much life and so much majesty. In this time again, connect with the earth and trust in the earth. If you can feel the love and appreciation of nature, you can know the earth is there shifting with you. And again, all you have to do is live in alignment with your love and joy and trust in these great changes. If you feel so inspired to bring about new technologies or new ways of serving the earth, helping people plant trees, helping people change their diets, helping people change their minds about how they consume and use energy. This is all helpful and relevant, though it must be done from a place of love, not fear, because the same actions done in fear of the earth's peril will actually contribute more to the old earth than it does to the new earth. We hope this helps you, and this will be the end of our questions for today. So we thank you very much, and we assure you that there is great and immense love there working for you. And all you have to do is come into alignment with it and live your own highest love in every moment. And great new experiences will open up. We do thank each and every one of you for connecting to this transmission and allowing this energy to enter your reality and express itself through all that is. For this is of great service to us and to all beings. And for this, we affirm our great love and appreciation. And we wish you a pleasant day. And affirm again, we are always with you. So whenever you wish to open up the contact, remember the feeling of the great love that can emerge through these transmissions. Remember the feelings of greatest passion that you have ever had, and evoke them again within you, and call us forth, for we are there for you whenever you wish, and we are always glad to support you.
Thank you so much, Pleiadian Council. Thank you. And thank you everyone for coming. And remember, you can donate at dante.filippini@gmail.com.
Or at Dante55 on Venmo.
Dante55 on Venmo. Yeah. What is it?
Super
Hashtag?
appreciated.
Hi, Dante.
I know it's just a hi. Yeah. It's just an @ symbol. But yeah, I really appreciate that as it helps me continue to do this and supports the costs of the Zoom platform, which does charge something for us to be able to go live. So yeah.
Thank you. Yay.
How's everybody feeling? Feel free to unmute yourself and share. Anyone wants to come on and say something or reflect?
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. How many did we have joining us today?
I think we had 12 for a while
Cool.
there. Yeah.
Great.
And then we have people right here live, so 14.
Wow.
There are
And
lots of
anyone
shares.
watching live on Facebook too. Cool.
Yeah, there are lots of shares. So.
Hey,
Magical.
Galen wants to say hello.
Hi.
Hello. How's it going?
We're great.
Wait.
That was lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad to share.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
How's Guatemala?
Looks like a beautiful family there. It's amazing. Our curfew got extended from 4 to 6, so we can stay out till 6 now. Hello. I know. moving to a new place in a couple days, more out in the mountains away from all the sound, so I'll probably sleep better. But to be
Yeah.
honest, I'm barely doing anything. Like, I'm doing a lot of sessions and doing my yoga practice in the sun or qigong and chilling at home.